Yes, yeah.
Hello guys, this is Mr. Satolo here. All right, I'm still waiting for my slides to show here. The a bit slow to show. Let's just say share. Okay, this is a grade 11 information technology class. Our today's topic, we are going to be dealing with internet technologies. Specifically, what we are going to be looking at is the internet and www. And then after that, we are going to go to the trends and imaging technologies and improving searching in the internet. Okay, let me go to our lesson objectives for this lesson. Okay, let me just come here. This slide. So what you will learn on this lesson, you are going to be able to differentiate between the internet and the WW. And you are going to know Web 1, 1.0, Web 2.0, and Web 3. And the different types of connections that were used from Web 1 to Web 2 that we use for the internet. Okay. Okay, let me wait for my slide. But before I go any further, the previous topic before this, it was network technologies. But then here we're talking about internet technologies. So I just want to go through just a little bit on network technologies, because I know a lot of students tend to confuse internet technologies and network technologies. So when we talk about network technologies, before we can come here, when we talk about network technologies, we're talking about a collection or of computers and other computing devices. Other computing devices can be devices such as smartphones, tablets, any other thing that are connected by some sort of communication media. So when we talk about the internet, now we are talking about a worldwide computer network consisting of devices such as computers, networks, connected to one another. So right now it includes computers and networks that are connected to one another. Let me just go back to the internet and make the difference here. So the internet will be, we have different types of internet. When you remember, we've got a local area network, we've got a WAN, whereby we are having computers that are connected here in one room, maybe for example, and that will be a LAN, or in one business, maybe like for example, a school. In a school, maybe there is a server, then you create an internet. And a network. The network that we're going to be talking about, we are talking about here, inside the school network, maybe let's say, for example, a computer lab. A computer lab, we are going to have a server and the client's computers. And what we're going to be doing in the network, we're going to be sharing files, sharing resources, sharing hardware, and also sharing softwares. But here, in the internet, it is a worldwide thing. All the computers and the networks in the world that are there, that are having information. Right now, the information is being shared on a very, very, very wide area. And then we have got the www. Is a service on the internet. Okay, the www is the service in the internet. It consists of a vast collection, interlinked, interactive documents stored and on computers all over the world. The documents are created in a language known as HTML. Okay, so here we're talking about the vast collection of the interlinked and interactive documents that are stored on computers all over the world that are being shared. The information, the documents, everything that is being shared over the internet. That is when we're talking about the www. And these documents we're talking about are created using the language HTML. Let me go back. What happened? Just move forward by mistake. So when we're talking about HTML is a hypertext markup language. So this language, it is used to create websites or web pages and websites. Okay, let me go to the next one. So here we're going to look at types of internet connections. The types of internet connections that we have, there are two. It is either it will be a fixed local internet access. When we talk about a fixed local internet access, we're talking about a connection that is stable. When you need to connect to it, you must be, maybe if, let me say, for example, those connections that go via telephone lines from telecom, when you want to connect to them, whether it is at home or it is on your business, you should be there on that place. You cannot move, you cannot go anywhere, because the connection, if the connection is here, is in the house, then you should be in the house to be able to use the internet service, because it will be using a line, maybe a fiber cable or or a telephone cable. So these ones they are high-speed data transmission to homes and businesses using cable technologies. For example, the ADSL. ADSL is an example of and it is fast. And one other thing, it is more, its connection, it's stable, and it is using a cable. So other people often refer to it as a fixed broadband internet access. It is a fixed broadband internet access because you are only going to use a cable. Unlike now, when you go with your phone, you can still be able to access the internet while you are on the move. But here, you are supposed to be home to be able to connect here. So in most cases, our computer labs and our if we have networks and other stuff, we are going to use this type of connection, and it is the fastest compared to the mobile one. So right now, the other form of connection that we have, it's a mobile, this one, mobile, what is it? Mobile internet access. The one we use for cell phones, tablets, sometimes on laptops. So this one is mobile because you can connect anywhere. You can move, you can go anywhere on your cell phone, as long as there is a tower that is bringing network on that place where you are going to be connected. So connecting to the internet using wireless networks. So here the connection is wireless, whereas here on fixed location internet access, the connection uses a cable. It is a wired connection. So here, the forms, the things that we're going to use, maybe we're going to use a router to get a wireless connection. Or if you don't, just like now, most of people, when they work with the pocket router Wi-Fi, just for them to keep connected. Or you can just buy data on your phone on whichever network that you are using. So this is often referred to as a mobile broadband internet access. So this one was referred to a fixed broadband internet access, while this one, sometimes they refer to it as a mobile broadband internet access. And the speeds here, when we compare the two, the speeds here are normally less than the fixed connection. So here on the fixed connection, we have more speed, we have higher speed, and then here we just have a normal speed. I'm trying to compare these two so that we can see, we can be able to differentiate them. So the connection here will use a cable on fixed local internet access. The connection is going to use a cable. But when it comes to this one, the connection is wireless. And then sometimes this one is called a fixed broadband internet access. They call it fixed because you cannot move it anywhere. If it is installed in your house, then you are going to use it when you are in your house. But not like this one, you can use it anywhere as long as your service provider have coverage wherever you are going, then you can be able to access the internet. Okay, let's go to the next slide. All right, here we're going to look at Web 1, the internet before in the 90s. And then the internet, when it upgraded to Web 2. And then the internet also upgraded to Web 3. So in Web 1, this was the first internet access we had before. So experts called the internet before 1999 read-only web. So why will they call it like that, read-only web? This read-only web, it means that unlike now, the internet has upgraded. We can interact in the internet. You can write some content, maybe for example, in a wiki or in websites like a wiki, or you can do blogs. But here, in the past, the internet was only a read-only. If you are a consumer or a user, you cannot be able to write or do anything. All you have to do is to read the information that you were given on that particular website. So basically, these were static websites. The average internet user's role was limited to reading the information which was presented to him. So if you are a user, an average user, you can only read the information that is presented to you. Users were just consumers of content. There was no active communication or information flow from consumer to producer. There was no communication at all. So if you get to the website, you will get it just like this slide as I have opened it here. Then you will read the information that is written there. You cannot be able to answer. There is no any form of communication between you and the producer or the user. It is just like this. Okay. Let me come here to the characteristics. Okay, let me read the last point. The webmaster controlled the content of the web pages, and email address was usually the only way to communicate with the webmaster. So the only way here to communicate was to use an email. Rather than that, there was nothing else. And another thing, when you look now, we have too many forms of communication. We've got social media, like Facebook, we've got WhatsApp, we've got a lot, we've got Zoom, we've got Skype, we've got a lot of things to communicate. But here in Web 1, you were only able to communicate to the consumer or the producer or the webmaster through email address. So the characteristics of Web 1, firstly, it was static. I hope you still remember types of website. We had static websites and dynamic website. So static websites, a website like this, there is no interaction, you just read the information. That's why they say read only. That is a static website, and the information in the website hardly changes. It will always show you the same thing every time when you open the website. So that is a static website. So it was just static HTML web pages with hyperlinks. So you have web pages with hyperlinks, they are always going to show you the same thing. That's what they mean about static. Websites were not found frequently updated. A static website is hardly updated. So it was hardly updated. Few content creators and many content consumers. So here on this era of Web 1, there were few content creators and many content consumers. Okay, made a mistake here. So let's come to Web 2. Web 2, this was an upgrade of Web 1. Web 2.0 was an upgrade of Web 1. So here, the lack of active interaction of common users with the web leads to the birth of Web 2. The Web 2.0 or the read-write. So here is a difference here. On Web 1.0, it was a read only. So here you can read, you can write the content. Okay, this is very important. Web has the ability to contribute content and interact with other web users. So right now you have the ability to to contribute content and also to interact with other web users. This era empowered the common user with a few new concepts like, so here we're starting to have blogs, we're starting to have social media, we're starting to have wikis. Okay, a blog is just a small website, maybe that will be, mostly blogs are dynamic websites rather than being static. So when you compare this to Web 1.0, it was having, so when you have blogs now, so when you do bloggings, the website are most likely to be dynamic. So right now, on that other side, you only had one, okay, when it comes here to social media, now we're having social media, like Facebook. I remember in the past, the most that was too popular was Mixit, Facebook. So right now, when you remember very well, on Web 1, we said the only form of communication that you had was emails. So right now, they are adding. So we had social media, Facebook, Mixit, Twitter. So right now it is developing. So we had multiple forms of communication. And then now we have got wikis. Wikis are websites whereby the user also can be able to update the information on that particular website. So remember, on that website only, you would only read the information that you got there. But then now, when it comes to wikis, you can also be able to update the information as a user. Video streaming. So now we had video streaming, for example, like we had YouTube. We're having a lot of things now. Okay, so the characteristics are here of Web 2.0 is that now we have got dynamic web pages. Dynamic, the difference, remember on this one, we had static web pages. How did I repeat this page? I don't know. Okay, so here is the comparison. So here on Web 1.0, we had static HTML web pages with hyperlinks. But when it comes here, we have dynamic web pages are starting to emerge. Dynamic web pages well, they continuously change, whereas static pages doesn't change, just remain the same as it is. Users become content creators and not just content consumers. So right now, users can also, hence we have got wikis here, we have got blogs there, we have got social media. We have a very, very, very big upgrade from Web 0. So users now can be able to create the content. And on Web 1, when you compare, users were just only reading the information. There was nothing much that they can do. And then another thing, we have social networking sites. So now we're being advanced with social networking sites, so we can communicate with people who are all around the world. But on that one, on the first one, the only form of communication that we had was just networks. I'm sorry, it was just emails. So right now we have social media, social networking sites, so we can be able to communicate with people in a cheaper place. All right, here is just an example of Web 2. So right now we have facilitators. Okay, let's look at here the facilitators of content. Here we have media file sharings. When we talk about media file sharing, we talk about maybe audio files, images, videos, and then now we've got blogs. Blogs are still, all these things meet here in the internet. We've got blogs. Blogs, you can write your content, update it every day, which means your website now it is dynamic. So now we have web hosting services. Web hosting services, okay, let me go back. Web hosting services are just like services like maybe when you want to create your own website, you will need someone, a company or a business that will give you space in the cloud so that you can be able to save your HTML pages there. Even if you're not using HTML, any language that you will be using. So it's like you're buying a service that when you create your website, all these things will be saved there on cloud. For example, when you talk about things like businesses like Bluehost, AfriHost, those companies can provide you even with a domain. A domain, you need it when you want to create a website, because that will be the name of your website, and you're gonna have to pay for it and then pay for the hosting. Then you can be able to have your website so that people can be able to find it in the internet. So now we had discussion groups, like now emails, upgrading. Right now we have like when you send a person an email, you can see other people and send the email to a group. So like right now we have too many things. We have got connections, faster connections. Some of them are wireless laptops. Most cases they use wireless connections, or if you like, you can use a static connection. But here, everything you see that things are developing, it's better than in Web 1. So, okay, let me come here to the comparison here. I made a short comparison here. So in Web 1, this is Web 1, this is Web 2. So here, you were only reading, but now here you can also be able to write. And then here, it was individuals. Now we have got communities. The language here was HTML. Now you can use XML. And then a personal web page. Now we've got blogs. We had web portals. Now we've got RSS feeds, online encyclopedias. And then here we've got Wikipedia examples, websites like Wikipedia, wired connections. Right now we've got wireless connection. Mostly we are using wireless connection. So this is the comparison of Web 1 and Web 2. Okay, right now we're coming to Web 3, whereby there is a huge change now, a very, very, very big change now. Internet experts think Web 3.0 is going to be like having a personal assistant who knows practically everything about you and can access all the information on the internet to answer any questions. So right now, when it comes to Web 3, so here in this statement, what they basically mean when they say it's like having a personal assistant who knows practically everything about you and can assist all the information on the internet to answer any questions. So right now, when we look at websites, if you search for something, you will be given with a bunch of information, some of them of which you don't need. So now the website is more advanced. It is actually, just like, for example, let me make an example with YouTube. Let me say when you go to YouTube and you look for something, maybe let's say you search for music. Maybe let's say music. You are looking for, maybe every time when you come, you search for music like hip hop. So the next time when you come to the web, when you look when you just open your YouTube, you will get information that is related to the things that you are always searching. Maybe if you go to search for hip hop, maybe you are looking for, let me say, Jay-Z, then you will get some other information that is related to people that relate there. Maybe they can play you some music from the same record label with Jay-Z, or they will just bring another song, Jay-Z song, or they will bring other hip-hop songs that they think that you may like. Maybe when you look at YouTube right now, you will find some other videos written down there that recommended for you. The website almost now the web is like a person who's trying to assist you, and they look what you like to search. As you search the web, the browser learns what you are interested in. Exactly, that's what I was explaining right now. It's almost one and the same thing. Now the browser know the things that you are likely to be interested in. The more you use the web, the more browser learns about you, and the less specific you need to be with your questions. So right now, the more you use your browser, it will keep a search history there, and whenever you open it, it is maybe you search something, it knows what you are likely looking for. So that's why you have to be less specific about the things that you want, because now the website is smarter. It's like a person who's assisting you to get whatever you want to get. So right now there is too much data mining here. Eventually you might be able to ask your browser open questions like, where should I go for lunch? Your browser would consult its record of what you like and dislike, take into account and your current location, and then suggest a list of restaurants. So right now, that's why it says on the first line, they were saying it is like a person who's assisting you. So right now, this browser captures all the information about you, all the things that you like to do. So in Web3, the internet is like a personal assistant to you. The semantic web is the extension of the World Wide Web that enables people to share content beyond the boundaries of applications and website. So now you can share the content beyond the boundaries of applications and website. Many compare Web 3.0 to a giant database. Yeah, so we can say this is a giant database because there's too much data mining involved. All the things that you do, they are recorded here. When you want something, it will be, when you search for something, it will be, the answers that you are likely to get will be based on your previous searches. And if I open my browser and maybe someone else open their browser, we are not going to get the same information now. So my browser will paste my information to what I am likely to the previous things that I used to search. And when you open your browser, it will relate whatever the information that will be given to you will be based on the previous things that you have been searching. So it will keep on changing. So it knows everything about me now. Browsers will be capable of tracking and synthesizing information about users' history, and from this provide personalized suggestions. So right now we're getting personalized suggestions. So when you open your browser, will not be like when I open my browser. So even three different people can search the same thing but get different results. So now this browser is based on what you usually search. It is looking at the information. What are you likely looking for? Powered by high speed. So in Web3, we have high speed. So these are the characteristics of Web3. It has high speed, high bandwidth internet access, the Internet of Things, and then we've got artificial intelligences. It is better natural language processing. When we talk about the better neutral language processing, right now we've got too many things that we use to create websites. So just like in Web 1, they were saying mostly it was using HTML. So now we're going to use languages like things like JavaScript, CSS, PHP, a lot of things. So, and then lastly, Now we've got a mobile capabilities. So like now when you create a website, so you can make it to be able to fit on a phone as well, and also to be able to be viewed on a computer or a laptop, and as well to be viewed in a phone. All right, let me just go back for a quick recap. So the first thing that we were looking at is the internet and the WW. So we say that the internet is a worldwide computer network consisting of devices, um, computers and networks connected to one another. So it's everything, like every devices that can be connected in the internet, and all the networks in the world that we have, they are connected together. When all those things are connected together, they form what is called an internet. And then we've got the WW. We say the WW is a service on the internet. And then we had types of connection. We had a fixed connection and a mobile internet, internet access. So the fixed one can only be is cabled, and then the mobile one is a wireless. And then we said this fixed one is often called a fixed broadband internet access, and this one is called a mobile broadband internet access. So an example of this one can be an ADSL, and then an example of this one can be networks that we use for mobile devices, for example, a cell phone. And then we had Web 1. Web 1 was referred to as a read-only, and it is consist of static pages. It hardly change. It is hardly updated. There are few content creators and many content consumers. And then we had Web 2. Web 2 now was starting to have and on Web 1, another thing, the only form of connection of communication that we had in Web 1 was emails. But here we started to have blogs, social media, wikis, and video streaming. And then we have dynamic web pages now. And then users also became content creators here. We have social networking now, rather than on the previous one, Web 1.0, we only had email communication. Okay, and then this was Web 1, and then this was the comparison of Web 1 and Web 2. And then we had Web 3, whereby it is said that when you're on your website, it is like having a personal assistant that is going to assist you with everything that you are doing. All right, so that was it for our today's lesson. Why is this going there now? Okay, so that was it for our lesson. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. You guys are the best. So if you have any questions that you want to ask, feel free to email me at mtobisisatolo@gmail.com. Bye, guys.